front and back inside cover. Now, the papers in here will make both the front and the back inside. So you've got double what you need for each one. So if you go to the next page of your instructions, whoops, okay, inside front and back covers. So in your pack, as I say, you will have much nicer papers than I've got. I literally just made mine out of what I had left. You will have just 2 pieces. It's all got a bit of a mess. 2 pieces of card, 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. So they are going to be the base of your pages. I'm going to put them into 2 piles so that you can see what I mean. You will have 2 pieces of card. Yours will probably be a lot more organised than mine is. Here we go. 2 pieces of card, 7 7/8 by 5 1/2. And you can see it says they've been scored. So this bit now is 7 7/8 by 5. That's what the page will be. So I'm going to put one of those on each pile. You will have 4 flat pockets, which are 4 pieces of card at 4 7/8 by 3 1/2. So that's these. So 4 7/8 by 3 1/2. Put 2 on there and 2 on there. And you will have 2 inside pockets, 7 3/4 by 3 1/2. So those are your front and back covers. For your papers, now mine aren't in red, yours will be in red. You will have 2 pieces of paper at 7 3/4. Right, here we go. 7 3/4 by 3 1/4. And those are part D. You will have 2 pieces at 7 3/4 by 4 1/2. Those are part C. You will have 4 pieces of of paper at 4 3/4 by 4 1/2. So that's those. So you want 2 for the front and 2 for the back. And then 4 pieces, and those are part A. 4 pieces by 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. These are part B. So I'm only going to make 1. You will obviously make 2, 1 for the front and 1 for the back. So I'm just going to pop my back pieces back into there. And I'm just going to focus on my front cover. So take one of your large flaps. So we're going to take this flap, which is 7 7/8 by 5 1/2, and fold the glue flap. Okay, so I'm just going to fold that, and again, I'm going to give it a really good burnish. Miter the corners. So this is exactly the same as we've done before. So we're going to miter that corner and miter that corner. Okay. And we're going to stick it to the edge of this piece of card. So just before you, always before you stick, just check it fits. Okay. And then we're just going to glue it down all the way along there. Like so. Okay. Like that. Ooh, sticky on me. Right, okay. Now, it says adhere 2 of the large flap papers. So pieces A. So that's these pieces. Okay. Now yours, although they're double-sided, the patterns will be the same on both sides. Okay, it's just that that was the way the papers came. So I am just going to stick these onto the top of both sides. So I'm going in here. Whoops. And I'm going to pop one piece on the top of that, the flap. So not the main page, but the flap. And then I'm going to stick the other one on the inside of the flap. Okay, like so. And that's done. So glue the flap pocket papers. So that's the B, so the slightly smaller ones. And we're going to glue those to the flap pocket card pieces. So that's these pieces. So I'm going to glue that one to that. Now I'm going to alternate. You won't be able to alternate because the pattern's the same on both sides, but there's nothing to stop you cutting out an alternate from your spare bits of card. So if you don't want the same, there and there, and in fact on some of them I think I've put different paper in for the flap. So I have tried really hard to think of everything, but if I haven't, and if I have put the same pieces in, as I say, you can always cut yourself another piece from your spare. You've got plenty of spare. So that's going to go onto there, like so, and that one's going to go onto that one. Like so. You've got all the measurements in your instructions, so if you want to change any of the papers, you can. Okay, like that. Excuse me. Okay, so glue the flat pocket papers B to the flat pocket card pieces and add a thin line of glue to the 3 edges. So work out which way up you want it to go. Thumb on the edge you don't want the glue, because then unless you put the glue over your thumb, you know that's the edge that's going to be the pocket. So I'm just going to pop that onto there like that. I'm going to go round, whoops, too much glue, and I'm going to do the same with this one. So thumb, go round, a bit of a wobbly go round that one. Okay, and then that's going to go on to there. Okay, and give it a bit of a burnish. Right, so now you're going to work on this page. So adhere one of the larger pieces of the base paper, so one of these, vertically to one side of the base page. Now, I'm thinking it's better if it goes on this side so that your pocket, which is this piece, will go here and you can get things in and out more easily. So with this on the outside, I'm going to put some glue onto that, like so. I'm going to pop that onto there. Attach the smaller piece D to the inside pocket piece and create your side pocket. So exactly the same as you created the pocket on the flap. So put it how it wants to go. Thumb on the bit you don't want the glue to be on. Go around the other 3 edges. so. And glue that on. Before you stick it down, do make sure that that will still fold over. So you're not going to take it right up to the line. Okay, so that is then your first page. And I have included some ribbon. What I haven't included, because I couldn't think of a way to do it without giving everybody a full roll, which would be very expensive. So I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided, which is what I haven't included, on either side there. And then use your ribbon that I've given you. Put a little piece on there. And a little piece on there. And then that will then fold. Whoops. More haste, less speed. So a little bit of glue or double-sided tape there and there. Put your ribbon round, and then that is going to go inside your front cover. And then you're going to do exactly the same for your back cover. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue all the way around here. And pop that onto there. Just make sure it doesn't impact on that hinge and that it's not hanging over the side anywhere. It's quite a tight fit, but it will go. So that is your front cover, and then you would do exactly the same on your back cover. And I suggest you do those two first. So now we're going to move on to page 1. And page 1, right, my page 1, is your waterfall. So just clear the decks a little bit. In the bin. Okay, so in here you will have, let's move that out of the way. So you've got your instructions in front of you, you can see exactly what you should have. You'll have one piece of card that is 6 inches by 10.5, and there are 5 score lines on it. So you should be able to see that. 5 score lines. You will then have, in a little separate pack, 5 pieces of card at 6 by 4. You will also have one piece at 1 inch by 8 inches, and it's got a score line at 1 inch on one side. And you will have in your little pack of extra bits 2 hexagons, like that. And then in terms of your papers, you will have one piece of paper which is 6 3/4 by 6 3/4. You will have 5 pieces of paper at 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. And again, and I'm going to keep them in here for the moment, your 2 small hexagons. So I'm just going to keep the 2 hexagon pieces in there so that I don't lose them. Okay, I'm going to put my piece of 6 3/4 by 6 3/4 to one side because I'm going to work initially on my waterfall. So, excuse me, I'm just going to have a quick drink. Now if you've got a corner rounder, you can round off the 2 bottom corners on each one of those. That's absolutely up to you. If you haven't, it's fine. Use them as they are. So I'll use them as they are today. If you round off the corners, you need to round off the corners, and it's just the bottom corners that you're going to round. Okay. And we're going to stick 4 of these on, but only 4. Okay, so 1, again, if you want something different, you've got plenty of scraps to be playing with. And we're not going to do the 5th one. So we're just going to move those out of the way. So adhere 4 of the decorative pieces to 4 of the flaps and leave the last one not decorated. Fold along all of your score lines. So start at the bottom one and fold it in towards you. Okay, and then give it a good burnish. I'm just going to do it on both sides. Okay. Now you're going to do the second one, and it really doesn't matter which way it goes initially. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that in and burnish that one. Because you want this to roll, it doesn't have to be. I find it easier to go that way first and then come in that way. And burnish that one. Just go that way just to break the fibres, and then it will come in on itself much more easily. And then the final one, bend the fibres out. And again, you'll do this much more carefully than I am. And so what you will then have is 5 fold lines that fold down towards you. So if you look at the bottom, at the thing, it says fold along all the score lines on the waterfall, fold over from the last fold to create 2 layers. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so we're now going to work on this bottom fold here. So this is what it looks like, and we're going to work on that bottom fold. So we're going to put some glue just on that bottom fold. So I'm just turning it around the other way for a second so that I can get to the glue more easily. Try not to go over the line. And just glue on that bottom fold. And then you're going to put this undecorated one up to the fold but not over the fold. Up to the fold but not over it. And just stick it down. So this is your undecorated one, and it's going on your bottom fold like that. Okay, I'm just going to turn it over and just burnish it a bit that way. Now, you've got these 2 bits folded. Okay. You're now going to take your 8-inch strip. So if you look at the instructions, starting at the bottom fold, adhere the undecorated flap to the edge of the fold. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. Okay, I'm going to have to change that. That shouldn't say that. It will say something different on yours. The undecorated fold, and then so that needs to come out and move. Okay, fold the strap. So we're going to take the strap around the back. So we're going to hook it so that it's over both pieces. So there's both pieces. And it's going to hook near the bottom of that flap you've just stuck on. Okay. Now, everybody does this slightly differently. I don't put my glue down the whole length of that folded piece. So if you look at mine, I've got my glue to about there, and then there's my fold. Okay, so I'm going from behind over the top of that glue tab that I've just stuck on, and I'm going to fold that down. Okay, so it's sticking to the glue tab that I've just, the glue piece that I've just stuck on. And then I'm just going to lightly and loosely fold that over. Some people will say score both sides. I don't like to, because I like to know that that is fairly loose. And then again, I'm not taking my glue right up to the edge where that fold is, because again, I want there to be plenty of freedom of movement. So I'm just going to hold those two in place. So your flap is now going around the back and is holding in place both your pieces now. So there's no way that's going to fall out. And now you're going to pop your last decorative piece on the top. So I'll just go all the way around and pop that on the top there, like that. Okay, make sure it's straight. Yep. And now you can take each of these. So we're going to put some glue on the next ½ inch space. So those score lines were ½ inch apart, and that's going to go on there. Just, whoops, that slipped. That's going to go on there like that. Now what I haven't done in these packs, because it's incredibly hard to judge, is put a piece that goes underneath. You've got extra paper, you might be able to put a piece underneath there, but for this one I haven't. So this is going to pull like that, and this is blank. Now, if you want to, you can take some of your spare paper and put that on. But because it's difficult to judge on size, I haven't done it. So I'm going to push that back in. Easier to go this way while it's all wet. And again, it's hard to tell exactly how much you'll want there. So you will need to trim that to about ½ inch. Now for speed, I'm just going to cut it because I shan't be using this one, but you will trim it with a trimmer properly to the size you want it. Then you're going to get your little hexagons. Like that. And you're going to stick the little decorative pieces onto the hexagons. Like that. And like that. Okay, so if you do want to decorate this, you will need a piece of paper that is 5 3/4 in width, and then however long you need it to be, so that it just goes up underneath your tab, your wraparound. But as I don't know where everyone's going to put their wraparound, and I thought about how can I do it, and I thought the easiest thing is just to put extra paper in, and you just cut it to the size you want. So your little pull is going to go on the end of this. So glue all over the back of that, and then half on and half off. Turn it over, glue all over the back of this one, half on, half off, and completely covering the other hexagon. Okay, so making absolutely sure they're completely covered, and I'm not going to use it because it's not going to be set. And when you do, make sure it's not going to catch on that first one. So then we're going to take page 1 in our pages. It's getting a bit messy here. Page 1 in our pages, making sure the arrow is going upwards. We're going to put our paper onto there. And don't forget, you can go around the edges of your paper with ink if you want to. Okay, so I'm just going to go, that one goes on there like that. And then the important thing about sticking on this is that the glue only goes on the strap. You don't want glue on anything else other than the strap. So I'm just going to go round like this, put my glue on my strap, put it close to the top so that your hexagon doesn't hang over the edge, centre it up and put it down. Ooh, that's what you don't want to do. Okay, I think what I'll do for the moment is just leave it. What I was going to try and do was open it so that I could get into where the strap is on this last one. And then you can see where the strap is because you can just see the edges of it wrapping round. So you can give that a really good burnish like that. And then that is your page 1 complete. So we're now going to look at page 2. Now page 2 is a very, very simple catch-up page. So I'm going to turn this over so that we're on page 2. And for page 2, please excuse my coughing. For page 2, I have used my We Are Memory Keepers envelope die. Now, yours will be slightly different in that you will have 4 triangles. You need to cut one off, but I haven't done that for you because you need to choose which one you want to cut off. Okay, so you will need to cut one of your triangles off, and then all you're going to do, little dab of glue, on opposing triangles, and then a little bit of glue up the side of the other triangle, top, down and round, and that is going to make your pocket. And this really is a catch-up page. So then you're going to put your page on there. So just put some glue across that. And then you can use your extra card and papers to make some tags to go in your pocket. So you're just going to pop your pocket on like that, all the way around. Like so. And that's as simple as page 2 is. Okay, so I'm going to finish for today, and on the next video you will see pages 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 and 8. Right. Thank you for watching.